We certainly want to see banks succeed in this new world order.
It will really become possible to hack not just my smartphone and email, but to hack my brain, to gather immense amounts of data on my body, on my brain, and to hack that. And to prepare for this kind of world, which is coming sooner, I think, than many people realize, we need an antivirus for the brain, for the mind. Even today, you think about something like fake news. Fake news basically uses our own weaknesses against us. If the hackers, if the bots, they discover by monitoring you that you already have a bias against a particular group of people. So they will show you fake news about that particular group because you have an irresistible urge to click on it. What did they do this time? And you will easily believe the fake news.
And you mentioned, David, Henry Kissinger, and I think he first was noticed by the Rockefeller family after he wrote a very erudite work on nuclear weapons and nuclear war back in the late 1950s.
Nuclear weapons and foreign policy.
Right.
Yes.
It was then published, and from that time on, he became pretty close to the Rockefeller family.
Well, he did. Actually, I guess I was the first one who got to know him because he was a member of an organization called the Council on Foreign Relations in New York. And there was a study group at that time that he, as then a young instructor at Harvard, presided at. I was so impressed by him that I introduced him to my brother Nelson, who was then governor in New York and was then considering seeking the presidency of the United States. They became great friends, and actually Henry became Nelson's foreign policy advisor as long as he was in public life, and I think is one of the remarkable international statesmen in the world today. Even 30 years after he was Secretary of State, he is still asked by heads of state when he travels the world for his advice.
Let me go back to the time you said when you came here, it transformed your life. Was there a course, a professor who really made that difference for you?
Yes, there was one course, one seminar of Henry Kissinger, which really opened my eyes. I wasn't accepted to the seminar, but I sat in. I think he let me in because I was German. And it was relatively shortly after the war. There were not too many Germans here. And this created a friendship which has endured until today. And Henry has been several times in Davos. And I think it was mainly participating in his seminars that I developed my interest for geopolitical affairs.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda.
This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades.
Give a type of money that can only be spent for a specific number of reasons. And some worry about that state control or whatever. But like in this particular narrow use case, you want to give checks to individuals to get the economy moving again. Yeah. So if you think of programmable money that expires if you don't spend it.
Well, we have a very big CBDC practice. It's now globally based. We actually, within the last couple of months, have put 4 people on the ground in Singapore. A couple examples. Cool. Since we're in St. Moritz, I'll give you a mountain example. Our first MOU is with the Kingdom of Bhutan, who has a very forward-looking king, technology advanced. and basically decided he wanted a better way of moving kind of value around the country, whether or not it was payments or other issues they needed to do, and also to set up a system so they could eventually have remittances back into the country as well. We're working with Palau. We're in dialogue and working with a number of central banks around the world. At the China level and at the US level, there's a lot of people chasing that and a lot of people that have their own sovereign interest in mind, and so you got to be realistic about your impact there. But CBDCs will be an important topic for the entire industry going forward, and the interoperability between them, we think, has a real opportunity for many of us around the table.
That I think central bank digital currencies were concocted in hell by Satan himself. They are incredible control by governments over everybody's bank account, and they are they're going to create a void of privacy for every individual citizen. I think they're horrible, but I think that's where they want to go.
It's an open distributed ledger in which many people can participate. And an example of that is CBDCs, either retail or wholesale. It's just these don't yet exist outside of mainland China. The second way is stablecoins. But stablecoins come with a number of constraints. Yeah. The biggest of which is that you need to keep $1 of deposits against every $1 of stablecoin that you have, which kind of defeats the purpose of fractional banking that we've had around for 100 years. So we thought if there is a way to kind of combine the best of both worlds, take the deposit infrastructure that we know and we all do quite well, the KYC, the AML, the sanction screening, and everything else that all banks do, and bring that to the 21st century so that it can operate on a distributed ledger. And again, the advantage of that, 24/7, programmability, instant payments, etc. The technology exists. And the real question is getting regulatory clarity around how different jurisdictions are going to treat those tokens so that we'll be able to launch them and commercialize them. But we think that is an exciting evolution and a more efficient way to move money on a DLT compared to stablecoins.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we see the push for CBDCs, and we know the NWO caused the problem. Wait for the reaction and run in with the solution. And we know what the solution is. These CBDC stable coins, programmable money, telling you what, when, and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And we have Ripple and many others are pushing CBDCs and carbon credits. And we know these devices are to be able to control the masses because the masses are going to be given more freedom. At least that's going to be the illusion. Remember, in the fourth industrial revolution, you're going to have billions and billions of people come from out of poverty into the middle class. And we know they already done the test with the C word. People sitting at home getting free money. And like you've all stated, the brain is now hackable. And when it comes to the NWO guys, nothing happens by coincidence. We have David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, Klaus Schwab talking about their connections. But guys, remember, when you have a plan, you have to have pieces in place. And that includes people in order to move you to the agenda. The same way we see with Jerome Powell, Gary Gensler, Janet Yellen, and the rest of the politicians, and including mainstream media. You have to have all those wheels in motion. So therefore, the masses stay asleep. So therefore, you can pull off your magic tricks to distract. So therefore, you can move towards the NWO's agenda. And guys, we know they are one crisis away from the masses waking up to the robots, algorithms, and drones and going inside the metaverse. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leverage to technology, and I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
It's Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.